So, Mark, we're in another season of Temptation Island on USA. New singles, new couples. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect without giving too much away.
Well, I can't give too much away or I'll be, dragged out back. Another season, all the stuff you loved in seasons 1 and season 2, but we have 4 new couples. So with 4 new couples come 4 new stories, actually 8 new stories and then beyond. And so what I love about the show is that you don't really need to tweak the format because every time you bring new people, it's entirely different. And so we've got these young couples who are struggling, figuring out the next chapter of their life, and they've chosen to come to Temptation Island. And that's where the journey begins, starting Tuesday, February 16th.
I can't believe it. It's coming up so fast. I mean, we had so many good seasons already, and now this looks like it's going to be another one. And filming during a pandemic, how do you pull that one off?
It was very difficult, and that's why it's been a year. So we were supposed to shoot in March, and then the pandemic hit. And so since March, it has been a battle by production to figure out a way to do this safely and to find a place that would allow us to do it safely. And we worked it out, and we were able to go back. I can tell you that it was difficult, but we got through it with 3,600 COVID tests and 0 positives, which was great. And it allowed us to, we had to work in a bubble. It was definitely a bubble, but there were some benefits to that. We were a cohesive team, much more than we had been in years past, I think, as a production team. And from a couple standpoint and the singles standpoint, it was not a lot different than it would have normally been because once we put them in the villas, they're pretty much in essence quarantined anyway.
That's true. I didn't even think of that, but you're absolutely right. So that's great. And I feel bad you guys had to delay it a year, but I'm glad it's here. We're getting ready to air it. And for you, again, I know you can't give too much away. What makes this season different than seasons past, other than the fact that you were filming during a pandemic?
Well, the filming during the pandemic will pretty much not affect any of what you see on TV. The difference is all about the personalities. And that's what I love about the show. It's not about a prize. It's not really about where they go on their dates. While it's great to go on these big fantasy dates, and that's fun for us to vicariously, especially during the COVID time now where we can't leave our house. That's really fun. All of that's there, but that's not what the show's built on. What the show's built on is these people come into the experience one way, and then the experience itself forces them to look beyond what they think they know and try things and do things that they either help them or hurt them or whatever, and then come together at the end in a different place emotionally and intellectually and make decisions about what they want to do. And this cast leans into it, and it's pretty riveting.
Incredible. I'm so excited to watch, so excited to see it. Hopefully everyone finds love. I hope so.
Well, I hope they find it either in the relationship that they're in or the next one they get in. At least all I can hope for is that they have a new and stronger definition of what love is. And that at the end of the day, they look back on this experience as something they don't regret doing and that actually informed them. So we'll see.
Exactly. I mean, I was their age once too, almost 20 years ago, and
let's not count.
Count. No, that's not. And I remember what I was like then. So I commend them. I would never be able to go on a reality show to find love, but I think this is a very wonderful, unique way to try to find love and test a relationship in certain cases.
Well, I think it's an extreme way to do it, but all of us, like you've said, have struggled with what it takes to have a great love relationship. So while it's an extreme experience to watch, it's relatable for all of us because the struggle's real,
And other than having couples come on the show, what makes this different than other dating reality shows like The Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise?
Well, several things. First of all, there is no prize to get to. There's not a final rose matchup moment, right? And there's no $1 million if we all match, right?
Right.
It is a personal journey for these people, and at the end of it, they're either going to stay together or they're not, and it's no deeper than that. But the other thing that separates it from those shows is, like, on The Bachelor, you follow the Bachelor or the Bachelorette and all the other stories, but it's through that one hub on the spoke. Here we have 4 couples who then become 8 individuals. And then they have people that they're involved in. So there are so many different avenues of storyline possibly happening that allow us to hop back and forth. So probably a little faster pace. It is certainly a little bit more extreme. And at the end of the day, there's a lot on the line, even though there's no actual prize on the line.
That's true. That's true. And what would you say was the biggest challenge about hosting a show like this?
Well, I don't know if it's the biggest challenge, but what makes it different is my role on this show is traffic cop and the stuff like you were going to select a date and you're going to do this and that stuff, which is normal hosting stuff. But when we sit down at the bonfire, that conversation that happens there is not like too many things I've experienced in my career, except when I had a talk show or maybe Moment of Truth that had moments of that, a show I did years ago for Fox. But it becomes this really true, intimate conversation. And while there are cameras going and it's undeniable for me and for them in the moment, I think we kind of transcend that. It becomes this thing. And so I'm really grateful that I get involved, and I'm honored that the cast is open with me and that we have this conversation where I can sort of shine a light on, what it's like to be down the line. I'm older, I've been married a long time, and I'm not an expert, but I do have some life experience. So I wouldn't say you're talking to a therapist, but you're talking to, wise old uncle, maybe, I don't know. But so I think that's something different that I find could be challenging to host in the sense of hosting, but isn't challenging in the sense of just being, so I'm just trying to just not host. I'm just trying to be there and have a real conversation and leave it up to the editors and the producers to figure out how it becomes a TV show.
And what would you say was the biggest, best moment about being a host of the show? Do you have like a standout moment, not necessarily from the season, but seasons past?
Look, in my opinion, when you're hosting a TV show, it's the same as hosting a party in your home. It's not about you at all. It's about the people that you've invited to be there feeling comfortable. So I approach hosting different than some of my colleagues do. In my perfect world, you would cut me out of the show entirely. And if the show's good, awesome. I'm really not about sitting there and pontificating, and yet it ends up happening on the show from time to time. So, I'm just grateful to be part of this thing. It is crazy and extreme when you look at it just face value, but what I hope to bring to it is some depth and some authenticity and to challenge these younger people grappling with some real stuff, albeit on TV. I try to bring it home to let's really do some work here and let's not pretend. And maybe on the end of this, you won't repeat behavior that's left you sad, and you'll discover behavior and relationships that make you happy.
And are you working on any other projects now, or is the show pretty much your baby?
Well, from a television standpoint, I'm not really doing anything other than this right now, and it's pretty all-encompassing to promote it, and it's going to air. But personally, I'm always busy, and so I'm writing a book that I really didn't want to do, but people say, you should write a book. You say some really cool stuff, and out of that, I've had some people reaching out to me to want to kind of hire me to do some private coaching. I'm kind of resistant to do that, but that may be in the future. Right now, I'm just trying to write down my thoughts, and I've got time in the house, so I'm getting this book done probably around April. I'm taking pitches from other people of shows that I might be interested in attaching to or being a part of. And I'm, feeding my chickens and growing my vegetables and hanging out with my wife and surviving a pandemic and a political climate and just trying to generate a little love and peace and unity. And that's what I'm about. That's what I'm doing.
Nice. And what's your book going to be about? Is it a memoir or?
Well, what I've done is put it off for years and years and years. So I'm not a writer per se in the sense of, knowing the structure. So what I'm writing now is a chronological take of my life. But what I'm really trying to do is correlate the things that you might hear me say at a bonfire. Where did this come from? I don't have a degree as a therapist or anything like that. So what am I talking about? So what I'm doing is telling stories from my life through, growing up in the Deep South to, the beginning of my show business and my relationship. And at each story that I tell, what did I learn? So basically that's how I'm trying to do it. Here's what I did. Here's what happened. Here's the fun stuff behind it. But from this is why I said this at the bonfire. This is where I learned that lesson. And, I've had a lot of people that have come before me that I've relied on as mentors and coaches, and I've learned from them. And I've done a lot of, workshops and work to discover things. And I figured I'd go through the exercise, if nothing more, of writing down what I've learned in hopes that it would help other people learn some stuff. Whether it ever gets published, whether anyone reads it but me, is a whole other story. But the process itself has been great for me. So, I'd love to share it if people want to see it, but it's really a personal journey. Oh, that's nice.
See it.
Right now, I keep saying it's like the bad diary of a very boring preteen. So I'm trying to make it a little more fun. But right now, I'm just in the process. We'll see if it gets done, and we'll see what it looks like when it's done, and see if anybody wants to see it.
I definitely want to see it. Do you have a working title or anything, or?
No, literally, I opened up the pages, the computer program pages and the template for Life book, and started writing. And I haven't read one page of what I've written. I just sit down and throw it up, and then I'll go back and I'll edit it out and figure it out, or throw it all away. I don't know, man. I find one of the lessons that I'm going to try to impart is stay out of the plan, just stay in the process. I'm not planning where this goes. I'm going to let God take care of that. I'm going to write down whatever words come out of my head and onto my fingers, and I'll avail myself of some editing help from somebody who knows what they're doing. And where this goes is yet to be determined. And if people want it, they can have it. And if I have to throw it away, it'll still have done me some good of introspection. So that's it. That's the worst possible way to sell a book, by the way. I got no title, I got no picture, I have no idea what the book's about, and I don't want you to read it. So run to the bookstore.
I'll run to the bookstore anyway. I live for that. I've been a big fan of yours for years. So.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. Thank you.
Yeah, like Moment of Truth, I loved. That was a great show, and you did so many good things in your career. You should be proud.
Well, I find it's funny to me that I end up hosting these shows that are highly, highly confrontational. And I personally, being raised in the South, hate confrontation. I just want to say, bless your heart, and walk away.
Exactly.
Right? So I find it very interesting, and I guess I'll write about this today in the book. I find it very interesting that life, the universe, God, whatever, has put me in these shows that are really highly volatile. And that's like the antithesis of who I am as a person. So I have to look at that. How does that happen, right? Really just run through a game show and give people prizes and only tears of joy. But I end up having these really big life conversations with people a lot. So.
Well, the wise uncle. So I like it. Thanks. And you can call your book Bonfire Babbles.
Yeah, could be Bonfire Babbles, bullshit. Bonfire Bullshit would work. I don't know.
Oh, I like that. That.
Yeah, I haven't come up with a title. I'm just gonna write it down, and then I'll let my wife read it first. And if it gets past that editor, then we'll go further.
Wonderful. And one thing I like to ask the people I interview is, tell me a fun fact about yourself that might surprise your fans.
Okay. Fun facts. All right. One, I have 6 chickens. I don't live in the country. I live right in the city, but I've got chickens. I get fresh eggs every day. So you can take the boy out of South Carolina, but you can't take South Carolina out of the boy. So in about 2 weeks, I'm going to have a full garden out there, and we'll start picking vegetables and doing stuff. So that's a hobby. The other thing you may not know about me is that I've been building things during the quarantine. I've discovered that if you know how to use a drill and a saw and you have YouTube, you have no excuse. Behind me is this swing, this tree swing that we put into our house that my wife loves. So we did that, and I did all of the casing and baseboards in the house. And over here, I shouldn't show you this, but I'm going to see that wall right there.
Yes.
It's actually a hidden door that I built that nobody can see. You want to see?
Yes.
I'm not going to show the inside, Rob. See? Whoa. So basically what's happened is my wife tells me she wants stuff, and I figure out how to build it. And and it's pretty crappy when you look at it close up, but that's been something I've enjoyed. I don't know what else to tell you. What other fun facts about me that I don't know that people know. Those are not fun. Those are actually pretty boring. So any other fun facts, Rob, that I should tell them? She says I could sing and dance. That's not true. We met, and this is in the book too. We met when I was a singing and dancing waiter, but I was a better waiter than I was a singer and dancer. And how she even found me attractive on that stage, because my wife is a Broadway veteran. So how she ever saw me doing what I was doing in that restaurant and thought, that's my guy, she needs to be, somebody needs to talk to her and see what was going on with her at that time. So I would not have added that as a fun fact, because it's not a fact, it's opinion. I did sing and I did dance, but being a singer and dancer, yeah, that's opinion, that's not fact.
It's cute. Well, maybe it's your Rob Lowe like ability. You kind of look like a lighter hair version of him. So,
well, truthfully, if it weren't for Temptation Island, it would be a lot lighter. This is not even the real color.
well, this isn't my real color either. I got pink in my hair.
No judgment.
Okay, to be fair, it's because I'm getting a niece. Yes.
Yeah. Live your best life.
Yes. It's my celebration of being a niece, getting a new niece. My sister's having a baby, so everything's pink now.
That's terrific.
Yes.
That's terrific. Just don't do some crazy gender reveal where you blow up the California forest.
No, definitely not. That was on Christmas, and it was just a Facebook post saying, "Hey, we're having a baby." But I already knew. Because I'm family. We all already knew. But it was like to other people. Yeah. So I'm thrilled.
So, I mean, that's about all I got for you as far as fun facts. I'm sure there are other things I'll think of when we hang out. But
probably.
Hit me up on Instagram, you guys. If you want questions, I'll answer them. So just hit me up.
I will hit you up on Instagram too. I'll send you an ad. And one more thing, since we're a TV site, what are you watching on TV these days?
You know what? It has become a nightly battle. So Robbie and I, we're quarantining pretty hard. We're going out and about as we need to, but we don't mind hanging out together. So after we, get through dinner and stuff, we sit down and go, what are we going to watch tonight? So we're running through all of our Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, Disney, everything, right? So lately it's been the Great British Bake Off. We did Bridgerton until I heard my wife whispering Simon in her sleep. And I'm like, we're done with this one. And so, although we did spend about a month calling each other Your Grace, so that was cool because we kind of went on the Bridgerton kick. Then we watched some pretty good documentaries, and we did Schitt's Creek twice through, and then we've lately done season 8 of the Great British Bake Off, and but then we find ourselves snacking, so that's not good. What else are we watching, babe? Oh, we did Queen's Gambit. We did all that. We're waiting for Handmaid's Tale because we were late to the Handmaid's Tale game. So when we went to Hawaii to do Temptation Island, we were quarantined for many days. We couldn't leave the room. And so we were watching Handmaid's Tale. We're finishing up, the original 3 seasons, which unnerved us. And we'd wake up in the middle of the night having Handmaid's Tale nightmares, but we're literally patiently waiting for that to come back out. And then we'll kick back into that.
Nice.
That. But that's basically it. We're like going through the, the home pages of all of our streaming services, figuring what's tonight's. We're watching more TV than we've ever watched, is what's going down. And what we're trying to do is avoid watching anything that I'm in, because I can't handle that. So today there's a Bravo marathon of Temptation Island. So I'd like you guys to watch it, but I will be avoiding that a little bit.
I understand. I can't watch my interviews that I do either. I'm just like, oh, do I really look like that? Does my voice really sound like that?
Yeah, you think after this many years of me being on TV, I'd get over it. But, I'm on a TV show where everybody else is like a 10 gorgeous. So, yeah, not the greatest for your self-worth.
Oh, come on. You're adorable.
I bring what I bring. I bring what I bring.
Yeah, and we love it. Where can we find you on social media, since you did bring it up?
That's a good question. Let's see, because one of them is Mark L. Walberg and one of them is Mark Walberg. Oh, you know what? Okay, let me see. I'm going to look right now. I'm so good at this. So let's see. On Instagram, I'm Mark Walberg, at Mark Walberg. Remember, there's no H. That's the other guy. If you want to follow him, it's a better feed, but mine is me. And then Twitter, I'm at Mark L. Walberg.
Okay, we'll send you follows. And thank you so much for taking time today. I really appreciate you.
I enjoyed the conversation. It was nice.
Likewise. And I'll make sure you get a copy of this as well. Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
All right.
Stay safe.
Bye now.
Bye.